Great to have you with us here on Baseball Tonight. We're 1 hour away from first pitch in Wrigleyville. The New York Mets, the first place New York Mets, taking on the Chicago Cubs from Wrigley Field. As the bleachers, they're finally set up. That means the fans are filing in.
How great is it that the Mets and Cubs are relevant front-burner teams?
We know how passionate the fan bases are, but you're right. When you're winning, there's an extra buzz in the air. And one of the reasons they are winning is the Dark Knight. Some of Matt Harvey's fans are there as Curtis Granderson tries to get loose. He'll be up against Hamill and the Cubs tonight. And Anthony Rizzo, Buster told me earlier, he's in the MVP conversation, and he's right. All that more coming up on Baseball Tonight. Baseball Tonight is presented by True Value. And with that, we say welcome alongside Buster Olney and Alex Cora. I'm Adnan Verk. We'll get to Derek Carty as well. Hear from Karl Ravech and Curt Schilling, who are calling the game. But first, Alex, you inflamed all of America with your comments about Derek Jeter yesterday. You want to take a mea culpa, explain what you were saying?
No mea culpa. I mean, I feel they have a better lineup without him there. I mean, it's a lot easier for George Girardi to stick Brett Gardner second. They got the most dynamic 1-2. And then at shortstop, I know Didi Gregorius has been making errors, but the range, I mean, he can go to the right, he can go to the left. They're turning little plays. It's nothing against Derek Jeter. I'm telling you, great career, Hall of Famer. Love the guy. Actually, my mom's favorite player after Joey Cora and Alex Cora, but I feel they're a lot better this year because of that.
We'll talk more about that whole issue with regards to the Yankees' top lineup as Buster's got some empirical evidence along with Alex's outspoken evidence from last night. Before we look ahead, though, to the Mets and the Cubs, let's look back. A little bit of going, gone. Yeah, it was a gigantic, titanic shot from Giancarlo Stanton. Every time he goes up, it's a moment to behold, isn't it? And this home run, Buster, was a beauty.
You know what's so interesting about it? First off, I love Scott Van Slyke not moving in left field and his head going straight up like he's following a plane out in left field. When we grew up, you know, a guy like Reggie Jackson put everything to swing. Mickey Mantle would do everything to hit the ball as far as he possibly could. Mike Piazza the same way. What's amazing about Stanton is you watch a home run like that and you still feel like he's got a little more in there.
Yeah. How outrageous is these stats, by the way? 460 or more feet home runs since the start of 2014. Sorry, Jays, Rockies, and Angels. Stanton alone, Alex, has got more power than those teams.
Well, I played in L.A. for 6 years, and Adrian Beltre, Sean Green, Mike Piazza, they never hit the ball out of the ballpark, you know, during the game. I saw it during BP. I saw Beltre doing it time and time again. When I saw this last night, I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. I like Buster say, I think he has a little bit more. I think next time he might connect, and he's going to the parking lot.
Once it goes to the moon, we've seen everything at that point.
And Scott Van Slyke will be going like that.
Yeah, exactly. 7 o'clock games are just about to start. Let's tell you what the entire slate is, including the Blue Jays taking on the Orioles, continuing that series at Camden Yards. The Pirates and the Phillies, as Cole Hamels will be starting. The Twins and the Tigers as well, and then the Braves and the Reds, and the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll talk more once again about the Yankees top of the order momentarily. But as far as some late changes, over to our fantasy man who is killing it right now, Derek Carty. Derek, what about some last-minute changes right now?
I'm finishing setting my lineup right now. The last couple guys I'm putting in towards the bottom of the roster, we talked about him on 530 a little bit. Brad Miller, he's in there batting second again for the Mariners tonight. Love him. He's very underpriced. He's got a good matchup, good lineup position. Love him. Anthony Ghost leading off for the Tigers. They're going to score a lot of runs. Got a chance to get some hits, some steals, some runs. Guys for the back of your lineup, squeeze them in there. I love them.
All right, Brad Miller, Anthony Ghost. Those are the names to look out to. Thank you, Derek. We'll check back with you momentarily. In the meantime, it is indeed the Mets and the Cubs that we are looking forward to. And the Mets, so far this season, some have been surprised by the fact they've been able to cobble together enough offense. We knew how good their young starting pitching would be, and Matt Harvey has been the star, back ready to do his thing, but the Mets certainly doing better right now. Karl Ravech and Curt Schilling have the call of the game. Harvey versus Chris Bryant. That's going to be exciting. Ravi, take it away.
Adnan, thank you, and it certainly will be as we welcome you to a brisk Wrigley Field here in Chicago. The bleachers open for business, at least the left field bleachers are, and you mentioned it, Matt Harvey on the mound. Last night, we saw Noah Syndergaard, who for 5 innings was Harvey-like. I don't want to say Harvey-light. He was Harvey-like, throwing 99, 98 miles an hour and gave it up a little bit in the 6th inning.
If you're a pitching coach and you get a chance to coach in the big league, this is the job you'd want right here. The Mets staff. It's you know, you got Zach Wheeler on the outside looking in. You've got the head. You've got a guy in Bartolo Colon that, for me, shows all of these guys how powerful a located fastball can be at 90. Some of these guys are much closer to 100 than they are to 90. The Harveys and and the Syndergaards and Zach Wheelers of the world. But this is a team not scoring a lot of runs, and their pitching is carrying them, and that's not a bad thing. Learning how to pitch in those close and tight games is okay. It's something you have to do. A lot of times you end up doing it on a last-place team. These guys aren't in last place. They're pitching their way into the top of this division.
Right. But Troy Tulowitzki would help this team out. You got to give up some pitcher. We'll talk about that during the game. If you were to give up one, would it be Steven Matz? Would it be DeGrom? Would it be Wheeler? Meantime, if you could combine the Mets pitching with the Cub offense, boom, we got a World Series winner.
Well, I'm still perturbed at Van Slyke not moving for Stanton's home run, because as a pitcher, that gets to me a little bit. But this is an offense that is trend-setting, that is going to set some numbers. They swing and miss a little bit much right now. I think that will go down, because I think some of these guys are showing an advanced approach as young players, but they're a player or two away maybe, and maybe it's the deadline, maybe it's this winter. They'll go and get that guy.
Yeah. I mean, guys like Rizzo doing really well, Jorge Soler, 47 strikeouts already. That's a bit of a problem. All right, we will continue. Our game comes up top of the hour. We look forward to it. Doug Glanville, former Cub, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" tonight. Oof. And we're sending him out to the bleachers, where it should be around, Adnan, 29 to 35 degrees. Looking forward to the game. Back to you guys.
Good thing there's no chilly relationship between all of you, Ravi. Then we'd be really concerned. Thank you for that. I like the way he was devising the super teams there. We'll think about super hosts we can devise later on. But as far as that Mets lineup is concerned, Alex, who stands out to you?
I mean, a lot stands out here. They need to start swinging the bat better. They're missing David Wright. One thing I'm worried about this lineup, their defense. I mean, you got Daniel Murphy at third. You got Wilmer Flores at shortstop. Dilson Herrera actually has helped them. They can turn the double play now. But if this team wants to play October baseball, they need to get a lot better defensively in the infield.
And it's very difficult to go wire to wire, Buster. And certainly a lot of people have said, just wait till the Nationals get healthy. Yeah. That's going to be a different story. The one thing, though, the Mets have that nobody else does is Matt Harvey. How great has he been?
And that means that once every 5 days, they potentially are the best team in baseball. That's how good he is right now. I remember in spring training having a scout watch him pitch and said not only was he great, but he's Hall of Fame great. You can't get better than what he is. One thing that's interesting, think about these numbers for tonight. These are numbers that don't make sense. With runners in scoring position this year, opponents 8 for 24, hitting .333 against them with 4 strikeouts. That's the only thing that's given him a problem.
Yeah, it's interesting because you start to look for blemishes, Alex. Do you have him right now top 3, top 5 best pitchers in the game? Where do you have him?
I mean, he's one of the best. I can't say 1, 2, 3 because he's coming out of surgery. Let's be honest. I mean, and he's going to hit some spots that he's not going to feel 100%, but still he's going to give you a shot to win. One thing with the Mets, if you think about it, with the pitching staff they have, every 10 games it looks like they're going to win 5. So if they get better defensively and just give a little bit of offense, with that pitching staff, you start winning 6 out of 10, and then they're going to be a real threat in the East, and they might be playing October baseball.
You know, my question for you is there, when you have a pitcher who's like this, it feels like an NFL Sunday. I covered Roger Clemens. It felt like a different game, and I had players privately tell me, you know what, it shouldn't be this way, but the energy level on the team rises on the day that Harvey pitches. Do you agree?
It was in 2007. We had Josh Beckett. You know, I mean, when he was pitching, you felt it. Here we go. We got the horse going. Then in the playoffs, I know Curtis over there, you know, in Wrigley Field, but with 88 that he was pitching, he was a veteran coming, you know, he wasn't 100%, but we still feel that, oh, it's Curt Schilling. We're going to win this game. And it's not that you try harder because you try to score runs for the number 5 or number 1, or you play better defense, but that feeling, I mean, the media's there, the cameras are there, the fans are into it. You feel that there's a pretty good chance that you're going to win that game.
We in baseball just love making lists, so I just think in my head, Kershaw, Felix, Bumgarner, Wainwright, Harvey, that sounds like a pretty good starting 5.
Yes,
definitely.
Absolutely.
As always, you can tweet us. Let us know which of those names you feel is not among the best pitchers in baseball. In the meantime, the Cardinals and the Indians. This is Brandon Moss trying to pay dividends, Alex, for this Indians team.
And that's a good pitch down in the zone, 0-1 pitch. He gets ahead of the bat down there and drives it to right field. This is a Cleveland team that needs some offense. So if they start swinging the bat and catching the ball, they're going to be in the hunt.
And that's your pick, David Murphy.
It was, yeah. I think he got like 14 hits and 16 at-bats against him, something like that.
Somebody did his homework on this set.
I did, right? I did.
2-0 in the bottom of the third. Still to come here on Baseball Tonight, we'll talk about Bryce Harper, the fact he has been flourishing lately, what's happening with regards to the Nationals and the D-backs. Also, Sonny Gray. You talk about one of the great underrated pitchers in the game. Gray.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I was about to say it. There's a reason Buster likes him, too, beyond the fact he's got the tools of the trade locked down.
for Nick?
Yeah. You want to take a shortcut?
Sure. So how do you like driving the FRS?
I love it. Handles well. It's got plenty of power. This is it. Nah.
The Scion FRS. Lease one today at the Scion Zero Drive-Off lease event.
When LaQuinta.com sends Craig Wilson a ready-for-you alert the second his room is ready, you know what he becomes?
Great proposal. Let's talk more over golf.
Great.
How about over tennis?
Even better.
A game changer. The ready-for-you alert only at LQ.com.
Let's go.
I love our backyard.
All right, give me a fastball here. Whoa.
And when I'm with my daughter, there's no better place in the whole world.
Every home has a story. Tell yours at ColdwellBanker.com.
Hello?
Baby?
What's happening?
I'm ready to come home. I'm ready to come home.
Mercury agents are experts at uncovering discounts that can save you hundreds. And we're trained to go above and beyond to help our customers.
Mercury Insurance, how may I help you?
We're on a mission to save you money.
Mercury.
Pepsi is giving away 100 days of awesome music prizes. Follow us on Twitter and hashtag #OutOfTheBlue with a picture of Pepsi.
So...
Yes?
French fries and I are pregnant. And we're having chicken fries.
Everybody just calm down.
Again?
There's just no stopping true love. Chicken fries are back at Burger King.
Well, a mortgage shouldn't be a problem. Your credit's in pretty good shape.
Pretty good? I know I have a 798 FICO score thanks to the tools and help on Experian.com. Kaboom.
Oh. Well, I just have a few other questions.
Chuck, the only other question you need to ask is what else can you do for me?
I'll just take a water.
Get your credit swagger on. Become a member of Experian Credit Tracker and find out your FICO score powered by Experian. FICO scores are used in 90% of credit decisions.
Morning, John.
Ricky?
Man, I've been sleepy lately.
How come the decaf then?
This isn't decaf.
Dude, are you colorblind?
No.
It's time. The closeout is there. The comeback is possible. It's time to believe. Cavs Bulls at 8, Rockets Clippers at 10:30. Tomorrow on ESPN.
Baseball Tonight is presented by the local experts at your independent True Value and in part by Experian. Get your credit swagger on.
Bryce Harper, I feel like he's going to be a great player in many years to come.
A lot of power, very passionate about the game, which I like.
Plays the game hard, running into walls, trying to help his team win. Bryce is he's a hard player, he's aggressive. Sky's the limit with him.
If you could have 8 of those guys behind you as a pitcher, you would absolutely love it.
Bryce Harper, so much expected upon him. When you're a teenager called to the bigs, that's what happens. But how crazy are these numbers, Buster?
Well, and the number that's not on there, he leads the major league in walks, which I think is the indicator of what his mindset is this year. He's calmed down, he's figured things out, and he's put himself in a position to do that kind of damage at the plate.
You're right. We've seen in the past that over-aggressiveness. In the meantime, Mike Benzani, thank you for the numbers. The Nationals and the D-backs finishing off the 3-game set. Top the third, 2 on, 2 out. Speaking of long home runs, AC, how about Jason Worth? That's 440 feet.
And slowly but surely, Jason is getting his swing back. He was hurt during spring training. This is a key part of this lineup. Now that he's hitting third there, he's going to get some pitches to hit with Bryce beating behind him, so he has to take advantage of it.
Longest homer in the last 5 years for Worth. That's Paul Goldschmidt. He went 3 for 4, single, double, and triple.
Boy, he has bounced back from last year's injury and reclaimed his spot as one of the best players in baseball.
Top 10 player in the game, right?
Oh, no question about it.
If he wasn't in Arizona, a lot more would talk about him. Top the 6, 1 on, 2 outs. That's Tyler Moore, the home run off Randall Delgado, tied up at 5.
And they brought in Moore to pinch hit, and right there he gets a hanging breaking ball from Randall Delgado. Does a good job keeping that ball fair. Hey, great move by Matt Williams.
Diamondbacks bullpen.
Ooh.
It's an issue.
Top of the 7, 2 outs. The game's still tied. It's Bryce Harper on a 2-2 count. The check swing is called as a strike. Harper doesn't like the call, and he starts getting into it. The home plate umpire, Rob Drake, and gets tossed. And what he's upset about, Alex, is he wanted a little check here, right?
Let's check. I mean, there's a lot of things going behind the plate. You call balls strikes, and if you're in doubt, just, you know what, go ahead. Ask the third base umpire. I'm not going to be mad at you, but when you make the call, I'm going to be upset at you.
Alex, why don't they check?
Pride. I mean, they're too good for them. I don't know. I mean, I always question myself. It should be a lot easier. Just point at the third base umpire, clean your hands. He calls it. You just go to the outfield and play defense.
Well, Williams decided to join the star player because he got tossed as well. Bottom of 8, 2 on. Yasmani Tomas pinch hitting for Brad Ziegler. Base hit scores Mark Trumbo. D-backs up 6-5. However, in the 9th, that's Michael Taylor.
Wow.
With the bases loaded, he launched that puppy.
We didn't know about that home run last night. You know, that's impressive. But, you know, we know about Stanton.
The Diamondbacks bullpen.
Again?
It's an issue.
Taylor grand slam, currently 9-6 in the bottom of the 9th. Gio Gonzalez got the start, was shaky. 9 hits, 5 runs, 3 Ks over 5 innings of work. Hellickson was dealing for Arizona. You see his line as well.
And the Nationals with that terrible start, now 2 games over 500. At some point, Anthony Rendon will be back.
Let's talk more about Bryce Harper then. Show me, you got the bat there. What's the etiquette? Because I guess umpires, maybe they're sensitive. They don't like the fact maybe it feels like you're showing them up. What do you do if you're the hitter?
No, I mean, he went, let's be honest, he
right.
went. But as a hitter, you know, you got to call strikes, balls, go the easy route. I mean, just check. You've seen it with Adrian Beltre. Adrian Beltre sometimes, he checks himself. You know,
he looks right at the third base.
Yeah, go ahead. Check the first base umpire. He's like, just check myself.
Miguel Cabrera does the same thing.
You call it, they call me out, I'm okay with it, but there's too many things that you have to do as an umpire, and you feel that you're not ready to make that call. Just call balls, strikes, and just check over there.
I never understood that because theoretically, their focus should be on the strike zone in front of them, right? And how are they going to see that as opposed to this guy who's looking right at the hitter? The umpire's down the line, and it seems like an easy decision for the umpires.
It feels like a pride issue to what you said. The umpire just doesn't feel like he wants to get shown up. But I don't think that's showing up. He's just double checking.
It's just part of the game. And one thing about Bryce Harper, we were talking about the walks, we were talking about his swing. I love the fact that right now he's very disciplined in the inside part of the plate. He used to drift a lot, and he used to cast the ball a lot. Now he's not drifting as much. He's still getting his hands inside and catching the ball out there, but he's not swinging at this pitch. When you start being disciplined, then you start elevating pitches. They start elevating pitches. You start taking advantage, and he starts driving the ball. This kid, he's doing a great job. And the Nationals, if there were dangers coming into the season, we didn't know this was going to be the Bryce Harper we were going to get in the season. If this is the guy, hey, they might win it all now.
To Buster's point, in regards to the fact he's walking a lot more now, our baseball-type researcher Mike Benzani. Bonds, what else do you have on Harper?
Yeah, Buster mentioned it before. Harper's 22 years old. He's on pace for 139 walks this year. Last time a player that young walked that much in a season, Teddy Ballgame, 1941.
Wow.
147
Whenever
walks.
you get Ted Williams in a conversation, right?
That's the best. My dad smiles.
Unbelievable.
And he's going to, look, he might hit his 100th career homer before the end of this regular season, and he's going to be 22 years old. That's crazy.
The fact he's younger than Chris Bryant, right? People always bring that up.
And the fact that Anthony Rendon is not playing for them,
yes,
he's going to get better. I mean, when Rendon comes in, he's a 350 on-base percentage guy. He's going to be on base. He's going to take advantage of that. And this might be the season that everybody thought 4 or 5 years ago, hey, MVP. He might be the MVP this year.
We have been waiting. Well, we talked about Ted Williams and mentioned the pace that Harper's on. Speaking of the Red Sox, let's check out what's happening with regards to them as they're taking on the Oakland Athletics and Sonny Gray. Top the second. Handy Ramirez is on first. Gray strikes out Brock Holt. The ball got away from Josh Fagley, though, so Gray's charged the wild pitch. Ramirez goes to second. The next batter is Daniel Nava. And Alex, they'll sky a ball into left. This is like the Bermuda Triangle, right? Just drops in between Brett Laurie and Coco Crisp.
I mean, Nava got a 2-0 pitch, and, you know, he didn't drove it. You know, sometimes you better be lucky, you know, and that ball hung up there for a long time, but the third baseman didn't get it. Coco didn't get it. Hey, that's an RBI.
And with all due respect to the players involved, I'm sure Coco was probably afraid of Brett. Let's face it, he's a hockey player coming at him full speed.
Canadian, that dude's always amped up. A's have problems with runners in scoring position all day. Bottom third, Marcus Semien on third, one out. Billy Butler flies it to Jackie Bradley Jr. right. Great
Best
throw.
arm in baseball, I believe.
Best outfielder the Red Sox have right now?
Yes. Laurie then grounding into second to end the inning. The A's 0 for 8 runners in scoring position through 3 innings. Bottom of the 6th, it'll be Mark Canha. Runners at first and second. Pop it up to first.
And one thing about Miley, he struggled with location early in the game. And he struggled throughout the game. When he made the pitch, he'll go inside against the righties. He'll jam them. He gets ground balls. I mean, for how bad the line would look with the walks and the hits, he did a great job, man.
Yeah, you talk about battling, getting out of jams. There's Billy Burns grounding out. The A's were 0 for 13, runners in scoring position through 6.
And look, you saw Wade Miley pitch into the game, something that has not happened for the Red Sox very much this year.
Bottom of the ninth, Eric Sogard grounding out to first to end it 0 for 14, runners in scoring position for the game as the Red Sox win this one 2-0. I mean, that is futility. And sometimes you hear about regression and the fact the Red Sox will figure it out, but for a lineup in which they're clearly relying on their offense to deliver, this is disappointing. Bob Melvin, as regards to the offense, though, of the Oakland Athletics and their struggles with runners in scoring position, here's what the manager had to say.
It seemed like as the game went along, we started pressing a little more. We missed some situational at bat opportunities early on that could have at least gotten us tied. And with Sonny on the mound, you always feel good about that. So I think that was one of the keys, is that we didn't come through in those situations.
And certainly you look at this Oakland Athletics team right now, and I think that was the question, right? On paper, you say they always seem to have these good young arms, but offensively, where are they going to score these runs?
I think we've been asking this since July 31st when they traded Yoenis Cespedes. I mean, you still have to score runs, and they made a decision to go with pitching. It worked out because they made it to the playoffs, and then in that wildcard game, they scored a lot of runs, and Lester couldn't hold it. But, I mean, Yoenis Cespedes was a presence. He was a presence in that lineup. I still think, you know, they missed this guy. Billy Butler, all these guys, they're going to help out, but it's not the same lineup they had in the first half of the season last year.
The bad start for Oakland now, I think, is going to free up Billy Beane to be aggressive, to turn over more guys. Scott Kazmir and Ben Zobrist are going to be two really interesting players for contenders.
And Zobrist is that guy. He's a quintessential Oakland Athletic, right?
He's a quintessential Dodger or Yankee or Red Sox or any other player, any other team.
He'd be great wherever you want. Undervalued for years in Tampa. You're right. The secret's out. We all know how good he is. In the meantime, let's update you what's happening with regards to the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Maybe they can make a move for him. 2 on, 2 up for Russell Martin. He pops this one up over to first. So it's scoreless right now at the bottom of the first.
Doesn't it feel like Russell Martin's putting some pressure on himself this year? I mean, he got a huge contract. He's going back to Canada.
Really struggled out of the gate. Was hitting under 200 in April. You're right. Yankees and the Rays, Ellsbury, leading off here.
Oh,
gets
that's
on base.
Nothing new right there.
Then Brett Gardner gets on base.
Nothing new right there.
Mark Teixeira later in the inning. The base hit gets the run in.
Another first inning run for the Yankees. There you go.
Woo! 51 runs for Ellsbury and Gardner this year already.
Brian McCann has also driven a run 2-0 right now.
52 runs for Ellsbury and Gardner, I'm assuming.
And look at those numbers right now. Ellsbury and Gardner. When you can look at the top of a lineup like that and depend on these guys to deliver, that's exactly what the Yankees paid Ellsbury so much.
Look, when you look at the Yankees, it's clear the best part of this team is the bullpen. This is the second best part of this team, these two leadoff guys. And I fully back you on what you said, that, hey, this is showing what they should have done last year. They should have gone to Derek Jeter in early May and said, look, we paid Jacoby Ellsbury $150 million to be the leadoff hitter, and Brett Gardner's a great number 2 hitter. Derek, we love you, but like every other great player in history, you move down the lineup, you change position, and they didn't do it. I think it hurt them, and we're seeing how good they can be with these two guys at the top of the lineup this year.
And the thing, when speed comes into play, the other guys benefit from it. Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, instead of getting breaking balls in 2-1 counts, 1-0 counts, they're getting fastballs. And these guys, they're not missing it right now. So they're putting good swings on it. These two guys, I mean, they're game changers. In 2013, I was a big believer the Red Sox won because they were athletic enough, they were running. Jacoby Ellsbury leading the way. This year, Ellsbury and Gardner, they're doing the same thing with the Yankees.
Alex, these two guys right now are on a pace to score about 240 runs this year. That's how effective they've been in an era when offensive numbers are going down.
You know, sometimes you hear about batting leadoff guys 1-2. Sometimes guys say you have 2 leadoff hitters, meaning bat one guy 9, bat one guy 1. In this case, though, I think Joe Girardi's figured it out. Why mess with success? One more update for you right now as far as the early games are concerned. Here's Torrey Hunter, Twins, Tigers, and Torrey, of course, facing his former team here. Deep fly ball to the left.
Did you? Yes. Unbelievable. Boy, has he made a difference for the Minnesota Twins.
Reminding you, the Yankees ready to lead in the Rays 2-0 as well. At the top of the hour, they're getting set there in Wrigley Field, just about 35 minutes away. Karl Ravech, Curt Schilling will have the call. Matt Harvey against all those great young Cubs. It's going to be fun. Stick and stay.
Stay 2 separate times and earn a $50 Best Western gift card and use it here this summer. Or here. And even here. And when you stay, enjoy breakfast and free high-speed internet. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Like road signs, my words are true. They bring me slowly back.
I missed you.
Did you bring new ones?
You work hard for more than just you.
You went to Montana.
I did.
Working together, we'll help you save for her future geology degree. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco spicy chicken is so deliciously hot, it's generating reactions from everyone, like the memer.
Ooh, eat spicy goodness like a boss.
The selfiers.
So good. Gotta get a selfie. So hot. Got a selfie or selfie.
And the behind the timeser.
This sandwich is the bomb. Raise the roof!
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco, our signature spicy chicken topped with fresh jalapenos and ghost pepper sauce. How will you react?
It's back. Pepsi made with real sugar. Now in regular cherry and vanilla.
In our modern world, many of the things that seem impossible now will become realities tomorrow.
Tomorrowland. It exists?
Yes.
And you could take me there?
Rated PG.
When I failed at my first business, I thought my dreams were over. Losing confidence in yourself is even worse. And we've all felt it. Like, who am I to succeed?
To the next generation of hacks, duds, and failures. Wherever the journey takes you, carry membership.
Wet Willie's what they called him on the street. Rogue hoses, rain, and juicy llamas. Soaked his pants waist to feet. Duluth Dry on the Fly pants saved the day. All that water got wicked right away. He goes by Bill today. Duluth Dry on the Fly pants. Unwet your pants. Get a pair. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
Baseball tonight, presented by True Value.
Playing at Wrigley Field is really special, especially with all the history.
It breathes that energy, the ivy, just that old school feel is something that you don't get very often anymore in this game.
The atmosphere is always one of the best in baseball.
The people in the stands are really into the game.
To just sit in a dugout and cherish the moments, and it makes you want to be a Cub and part of the organization.
Certainly does. One of the most historic teams and one of the most historic places in all of sports. Chicago Cubs, this is the lineup that they'll be trotting out tonight. Chris Bryant has been fantastic. 3 home runs his last 4 games after going homerless. Buster Olney's got a great tidbit on him and why hitting second works for him. Anthony Rizzo, an MVP conversation, top 10 in all the major ranks. He's second in on-base percentage and certainly has been an all-star for the Cubs in the past. Starlin Castro hitting cleanup after him. And then among those young Cubs, you see Miguel Montero, the addition. Jorge Soler hitting 6th, and onwards we go. We heard earlier from Karl Ravech and Curt Schilling. Doug Glanville will also be a part of our broadcast. He'll be in the bleachers. Thank God those have been taken care of. I understand it's a little bit chilly there right now, Doug, but the good news is Chris Bryant has been heating up. What are you seeing?
Well, no question about it. I mean, you think of Chris Bryant, the maturity by which he's approaching his plate appearances is where it really shines through how much he's developed. And you compare it to the fact that he's still staying aggressive. The fastballs, he's making adjustments quickly, but he can get that ball deep in the zone and still be able to put a power stroke on it. So there's no question you're seeing a guy blossom already and they're making adjustments quickly against him, so we'll see how quickly he can get back at him and do the same.
Bryant versus Harvey is certainly going to be a premier matchup. When you look at the Cubs overall, Doug, clearly this is a young team with a young core all trying to grow together. You can see the negative of that and the fact maybe they need some veteran experience. But what do you like about the experiment that Theo Epstein, Joe Maddon and company are trying here?
Well, I like the wave philosophy. You almost have to go back to the McPhails in Minnesota Twins land or in Chicago, where they brought up a lot of guys together and they had familiarity from the minor leagues. And so their ability to sort of play together and make adjustments as young players, it takes a little of the pressure off. It spreads it out a little bit, like, okay, you're learning. And they have so much talent that they're making the adjustments they need. And there's enough veterans like Montero, Fowler, guys that can give them sort of the extra push. But Joe Maddon is a master at working young talent and sort of maturing them at an accelerated rate. And this is why they can still stay in contention even with this young team.
Ravi earlier said it's going to be 30 degrees there. Are you going to break up the scarf and mittens or what?
Oh, yeah, I have a skull cap, blanket, hot chocolate station. I'm going to throw the whole kitchen sink at it.
My man is always prepared. Doug Glanville, we appreciate it. We'll see you at the top of the hour along with Karl and Curt for the call from Wrigley Field. You talk about those young Cubs, and I want to get your thoughts on Addison Russell in just a second. But first, why is it a difference maker having Kris Bryant batting second?
And this was a great move by Joe Maddon. I had a scout tell me he's never seen a young player pitch to the way that Bryant has because he's come with so much advance notice. Opposing pitchers are scared of that power. His first 20 games, he drew 17 walks. So Joe Maddon put in front of Anthony Rizzo, forcing opposing pitchers to work to him more. Since then, 6 games, he has an OPS of 1110 with 3 homers. He's starting to show the power because pitchers have to work to him.
I love Addison Russell hitting ninth. I mean, this is a kid that is learning how to play a new position at the highest level. He's playing second base. He's a natural shortstop. But hitting ninth with a hitter behind him instead of the pitcher is a lot easier to learn to be an offensive player at the big league level. I used to call the 8th hole the black hole. You know why? I mean, and I learned when I was 27 how to hit from the 8th hole. Yeah. I mean, 2-0 breaking balls, 3-1 fastballs, 2-0 fastballs. You didn't know what they were trying to do. So you put Russell in the 9th spot with a hitter behind it. You just go up there to hit. You don't have to worry about, are they pitching me around? Are they going to be aggressive with me? He's doing a good job so far defensively. He still has to learn, but there's a kid that he's going to play shortstop in the future. If they traded Castro
yeah.
or Baez comes up and plays second, but he's in a good position to contribute right now.
We used to always put the pitcher in 9th. Remember, Tony La Russa started doing it at 8th, and everyone goes, oh, what's going on? Now, it actually makes sense, certainly in this kind of a situation. Mets and Cubs, one of the games will be taking place at 8 o'clock. That'll be right here on ESPN. Also, the Royals are facing the Rangers. The White Sox are at the Brewers, and the Giants are taking on the Houston Astros. Both those teams have been a surprise, considering the adversity that they've been facing. And here's a fantasy. If you're playing that 8 o'clock window, back to Cardi's Corner. Derek, what about some last-minute additions here?
All right, so you can either, if you're playing on DraftKings, you can still swap guys in, even though that the games have started. So these 8 o'clock games, very important. You can also play just an 8 o'clock set. So what we're going to do, best values, love Buster Posey tonight. Best hitting catcher in baseball, in my opinion. He's going into a much better park than AT&T, and he's facing a really weak lefty in Brett Oberholzer. Love Justin Maxwell on the same team, batting 5th tonight. Got a lot of power and got a lot of chance to take Oberholzer deep. On the pitching side, love Matt Harvey. We've been talking about him all night. And I love Jimmy Nelson as an undervalued kind of guy. He's facing a White Sox offense that is, the lineup tonight is just, it's kind of watered down. There's no Jose Abreu. They have Beckham in there instead of Gillespie, so an extra guy that he's going to have the platoon advantage against. He's really cheap. I love Nelson tonight.
Good stuff, Derek. I don't know if we're getting more tweets about your hair or my hair tonight. I think it's running neck and neck.
They're both strong. I mean, let's get our social media guy to like run a poll. Like, okay,
both of those meters.
Put Bryce Harper in there too.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the best out of them all. As far as the Giants right now, we know all about Alex, the even year, odd year. How in the world are they winning right now? And they're not running away with anything. We know the Dodgers are leading the West, but this was a Giants team that looked to really be coming up for a bad season, had a bad start. What's happened?
Can I think about it? No, actually.
Bruce Bochy?
Posey.
Yeah.
Panic, Crawford, Pagan. Up the middle. Very strong up the middle. Yep. You play good defense up the middle with this staff right now. I mean, you got to catch the ball. And those 2 kids up the middle, they're becoming the best double play combination in the big leagues. Offensively, a lot better they are. But I think Pagan in center field, when he's healthy, he brings energy. He's hitting the third spot. He's hitting over 300. The crazy horse, I mean, last year he didn't play for them. 2 years ago he did. I think he's a guy that keeps everybody together. And when that guy comes back, yes, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine in a division that actually the Dodgers are great. Besides that, the other teams are okay.
Padres? Yeah.
Nope.
And just to be clear, Hunter Pence, if all goes well, he'll be back in about 5 to 7 days. I thought your reaction was dead on. Were you trying to come up with a reason? Because the Giants make no sense. They're 29th out of 30 teams in runs, and they're over 500. That's the Giants.
Giants are going to be facing the Astros. Carlos Correa is a guy we've been hearing about in baseball, one of the great young stars we're hoping to see. Why is it important that he's gone up now another level?
Because he's right on the cusp of the big leagues. And I think that coming into the year, the Astros were not necessarily thinking about putting him in the big leagues this year, but they've gotten off to a great start. They have a nice lead, and they've started to backtrack a little bit in the standings now that Jed Lowry got hurt. So he goes to AAA. I've heard estimates anywhere 2 to 3 weeks. If he's not overwhelmed in AAA, that he could reach the big leagues. And everything you hear about him is he's the real deal.
I mean, I think June 27th. I just throw it out there.
I like it.
Yeah,
June 27th. Prediction.
Well, one thing about Carlos, he gets hurt last year. He doesn't play winter ball back home. But he worked harder than anybody else. He has his own personal trainer, his own hitting coach, and he wants to be in the big leagues. I mean, he knew about AA. He knew the plan was, I'm going to AA for a few months. You know what? No. The Astros are playing great. I want to be part of it. I talked to A.J. Hinch 2 weeks ago when they start getting hot and say, have you noticed Carlos Correa's numbers? They're getting better. The better you play in the big leagues, the better he is. He is a kid that he can run 15 stolen bases. He can hit for power. Defensively, he's great, and his head is right there. He wants to be a star. We are very proud of him. There's a guy that is going to turn things around in my island, and we're waiting for him to make it to the big leagues.
We're looking forward to Correa, but I remember looking at the Futures game, calling that a couple years ago, Rick Sutcliffe, Aaron Moon, and we were talking about Francisco Lindor. You talk about a prospect with a lot of expectations. What are you hearing about him in Cleveland?
And he, of course, is a great defensive prospect. Offense is a question mark, and keep in mind, he plays in a home park in Columbus where hitters tend to do well. So far at home this year he's batting .358. On the road, .188. That's a number that the Indians have to look at, and I don't think they're going to promote him until that number stabilizes, unless Jose Ramirez becomes such a problem defensively that he forces their hand. But I think they're going to be patient with Lindor.
And there's a kid that is going to be a game changer defensively. And right now, the Indians, and last year, the Indians were horrible defensively. Ramirez is putting pressure on himself. There's a guy that they didn't expect him to be this guy. He was actually one guy that he was more like a utility type of guy. For me, personally, I'll put Lindor right now up there and hit him ninth and play defense, and he's going to change it. I mean, this staff is one of the best stuff-wise, but if you don't play defense
is terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Here's the one question for you. If they had Yan Gomes in the big leagues rather than Perez, do you think that would increase the likelihood you look at someone like a Lindor? Because you can carry one guy who's hitting 180. 2 guys, 3 guys, it becomes a problem.
It makes a difference. It makes a difference. In the American League especially, you need hitters. You need hitters. And this kid is already offensively, but still, defensively, he's one of the best in the minor leagues.
They definitely miss Yan Gomes this season on that Cleveland team. The defense porous once again. One more update for you here. Check out what's happening to the Cardinals and the Indians. And Corey Kluber, the reigning Cy Young Award winner who is winless to start this season, did strike out the side.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's getting good results, but some of the pitches I'm seeing, it feels like he's up still, and fastball command is the biggest question.
Later in the game, Jason Kipnis got hit.
After Matt Holliday got hit.
So Terry Francona is not happy here as Francona has a little talk. Both benches got worn and then Francona got tossed.
That's exactly right.
Meantime, the Yankees and the Rays, Steven Souza, he's been good for the Rays.
One of the reasons they can get rid of Will Myers is this kid. This kid was the International League MVP last year. He got some pop.
I was worried about that Rays offense, but Souza has picked it up for them. Elsewhere, Joey Votto up the middle. He's been rejuvenated this year.
Professional hitter. And I tell you what, he looks like completely different physically.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was in bad shape before, but he is absolutely slimmed down.
People kept saying he's lost weight. He said, I only lost 4 pounds, just my jersey's a little
He looks different.
Yeah. Marlon Byrd there going deep, his 7th home run this year. The Reds right now up over the Braves. 2-0 is the final. Speaking of All-Star game in Cincinnati.
Who picked Marlon Byrd tonight?
Oh, by the way, yeah, D.C. Cardi's over there crowing. I like it. Time to vote for your All-Stars. 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot for the 2015 All-Star Game. As always, you can vote at MLB.com/vote. Cardi's bringing it.
Meet me in St. Rule 314. Cardinal fans make all other fans see red. Tigers, Cardinals, Sunday at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Every pitcher has a different routine. Before I pitch, I hit Subway for my go-to. Have for years. Fresh made turkey and cheese on 9-grain wheat with jalapenos, mustard, and a little bit of vinegar. Followed by a steady diet of fastballs.
Would you like to have sex later?
No!
So that's a no then? Because of the wink? And that's
It's an 100% no.
Rated PG-13.
Out of 42 vehicles, based on 6 different criteria, why did a panel of 11 automotive experts name the Volkswagen Golf Motor Trend's 2015 Car of the Year? We'll give you 4 good reasons. The Volkswagen Golf, starting at $19,295. There's an award-winning Golf for everyone.
You, my friend, recognize when a trend has reached critical mass. That's what a Type E does.
With E-Trade's Investing Insight Center, you can spot trends before they become trendy.
See these hands? Do they look like the hands of a man who carries around discount cards? Yeah, didn't think so. Introducing Speed Perks from Advance Auto Parts, a rewards program for guys who love getting under the hood. No cards, no points, no nonsense.
Strong. It comes from a place where raw strength is just a starting point. Where doing something means doing it right. Where unrivaled dependability is backed by the strongest warranty in the business. And the only job is a job well done. Welcome to Strongsville. Experience Cub Cadet Strong with the new XT Enduro Series. Find exceptional financing and a dealer near you.
The real question that needs to be asked is, what is it that we can do that is impactful?
What the cloud enables is computing to empower cancer researchers.
It used to take 2 weeks to sequence and analyze a genome. With the Microsoft Cloud, we can analyze 100 per day.
Whatever I can do to help compute a cure for cancer, that's what I'd like to do.
You only got one bat?
Yeah, that's all you need.
You're watching Baseball Tonight, presented by True Value. An update right now on the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Scoreless here in the second with 2 on for Caleb Joseph, and the 2-run double just out of the reach there.
The pride of Lipscomb, Caleb Joseph.
You knew that was getting it. Pedro just
there we go.
grimacing over there. Meantime, that's Manny Machado.
Oh, from Miami, Florida.
It's like we can't even write this any better than that. That's the voice of Pedro Gomez, who'll be joining us momentarily. We want to just kind of build the anticipation. You hear his voice, then you get to see the face. 3-0 Orioles here in the second. Another run gets driven in.
That was De Aza, the pride of the De Aza family.
Yeah. 4-0 right now, Baltimore in the bottom of the second. We've done some market research. If you want to boost ratings, you bring in Pedro Gomez. So
absolutely.
Bring in the lefty, whatever you need, Pedro. By the way, thanks for not wearing a tie. So at least you and I are both in the same.
Well, we're balancing things out.
And we're going to hit the club later on.
Yeah.
In case you read Buster's blog this morning, as I have it right here as well, the issue of PED use. And I know some people are tired of that in baseball, but this is pertinent information. So take a look right now at your insider account on ESPN.com as we discuss it further. One of the numbers that I noticed here, Buster, anonymous poll ESPN the magazine conducted during spring training. Players who spoke guessed about 10% of players are using. Others in the game felt like the number is significantly higher than that. What have you learned?
Well, there's no question about it that for baseball, this is an ongoing issue. Now, I think Major League Baseball has worked very hard to deal with this. So this is not a knock on them at all. But we learned during the biogenesis case, Alex Rodriguez, Nelson Cruz, and other players were caught, but not because they tested positive, but because of the documents with Tony Bosch. And so in talking with players and talking with executives in recent days, I'm hearing from them, they believe that there has been a spike in PED use. And let's face it, the science is always ahead of the testing, and that's what baseball has to deal with now.
And, Buster, I had several face-to-face conversations with Tony Bosch over the last 2 years. And he told me of the 24 biogenesis players who got caught, only 4 tested positive. It was Ryan Braun, Bartolo Colon, Yasmani Grandal, and Everett Cabrera. The other 20 never tested positive, like you said. And it was because they followed the protocol that Bosch had set up. Bosch basically had told them, if you take this much, you will not get caught, even if you're tested the next day. Of course, some players decided, well, if this much does this much for me, then I'm going to take twice as much. And we're talking about these little gummy-type, gummy substance-type things. And they would take 2 or 3 of those. And, of course, then their elevations were spiked and they tested positive. But it wasn't because of the program that Tony Bosch had them on. And Bosch said if they follow it, they'll never get caught. And, of course, the only reason that anybody got caught is because of the whole mess with biogenesis. Otherwise, biogenesis would probably still be going on, and none of us would know. But I agree with you. I've had conversations with players. That poll was taken in spring training. I bet if you took it today,
20%?
There might be players that think it's even higher.
And I also wrote in the article about the fact that Major League Baseball now might have some forensic data at their disposal that they didn't have 10 years ago. We know that they track the velocity of the ball off the bat of hitters, and they, of course, track the velocity of pitches. And you hear from executives, when they talk about guys that they think might be using, what you hear is, boy, why is that middle reliever who was throwing 90 suddenly throwing 96? Why is that journeyman position player suddenly look like he has a lot more bat speed? And now you actually have baselines of this information where baseball, look, it's not enough to convict a player on, but maybe if a guy goes from 75 miles per hour in bat speed to 85, maybe that gives them a reason to go ask some questions.
And to your point that you made right off the top, baseball's done a lot of efforts to curb
They
PEDs,
have
and I
worked
think
hard.
a lot of times that gets lost here, Alex. People go, baseball's got a real steroid problem. Hang on a second. These guys fight it more than the National Football League does, more than other sports do.
They're doing a great job. And one thing that is going on, and I bet the players, when they do all these surveys, I mean, as a hitter, you start watching games, and I'm retired, and you see 96, 97, 96, 97, 99. Used to be 89, 90, 91. Obviously, you're going to say, he's on it, he's on it, he's on it. But what do we know? You know, what players know? We don't know. So, but that's the thing, man. Stuff, especially from hitters, from my standpoint, stuff is up there now. You know, guys.
95's the new 90.
97 with cut. Let's be honest. That's the new 90.
But let's remember 20 years ago, John Rocker was a journeyman minor league pitcher for the Braves, throwing 87 when he finished at Richmond AAA one year. The next year, he shows up in Braves camp and is throwing 95. Named in the Mitchell report. Greg Gagne, same thing, throwing Eric Gagne, I'm sorry, not the hockey player. Eric Gagne,
great hockey.
Dave Gagne. Greg Gagne was a shortstop. throwing mid-80s, all of a sudden, upper 90s, also named in the Mitchell report. So it can and probably is happening.
It's speculation, but it also reminds me of in the early 90s, the late 80s, when I was covering minor league baseball, you started to hear players say, I'm hearing this, I'm looking at that, it doesn't feel right. That's what I'm hearing right now, and that's what baseball has to deal with.
And they're testing more than ever.
Yes.
They are testing more than ever, but it doesn't mean that the cheaters are ahead of the science.
Yeah, and that's the issue, right? No matter what you do, how actively you fight it, eventually there's going to be some cheaters and some guys slipping through the cracks. As always, you can read Buster's blog on ESPN.com, and as always, listen to the podcast as well.
Apologies to Greg Gagne.
Greg Gagne somewhere is watching as well. He wants a shout-out, too. Under 11 minutes away here from the Mets and the Cubs. How much fun is to watch Matt Harvey pitch at Wrigley Field? You'll find out momentarily. We'll continue here on Baseball Tonight. Thanks, Pedro.
So...
Yes?
French fries and I are pregnant. And we're having chicken fries.
Everybody just calm down.
Again?
There's just no stopping true love. Chicken fries are back at Burger King.
Easy, boy. I know you're excited, but you're not going out there without your coat on.
Yeah!
Meguiar's Paint Protect applies easier than wax for 365 days worth of water-beating durability.
Easy, girl.
My name is Max. My world fell. I am hunted by scavengers.
Come with us.
You done this before? Here they come again.
Mad Max, Fury Road, rated R. 7 p.m. screenings tomorrow, everywhere Friday.
You could win an out-of-the-blue party with rock stars, like Fall Out Boy. Follow us on Twitter and hashtag #OutOfTheBlue with a picture of Pepsi.
The white lines keep time for you. Like road signs, my words are true. They bring me slowly back.
I missed you.
Did you bring new ones?
You work hard for more than just you.
You went to Montana.
I did. Working together, we'll help you save for her future geology degree.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
This MLS Soccer Sunday, Orlando City versus LA Galaxy, and Philadelphia Union versus DC United. Catch all the action this Sunday, first on ESPN2 at 5 p.m. Eastern, then on Fox Sports 1 at 7 p.m. Eastern.
So you're into fantasy baseball, then you gotta check out these one-day leagues on FanDuel.com. Check out Chris Prince. He's 37, he's from Detroit, and he's won $724 grand playing fantasy sports on FanDuel.com. It's the hottest thing in one-day fantasy baseball. There's no season-long commitment, and with brand new leagues every day, you can pick a new lineup any day and get immediate cash payouts. So now you can pack the excitement of an entire season into one day. And with FanDuel, you can follow the action wherever you are. No wonder hundreds of thousands of fantasy baseball players like you have made FanDuel the leader in one-day fantasy sports. And look, FanDuel's gonna pay out over $500 million this baseball season. You gotta get your share. With FanDuel, you can turn your fantasy baseball skills into real money, like Chris Prince did. And right now, FanDuel is giving you up to $200 free. That's right, for every dollar you deposit, FanDuel will match it up to $200. Just go to FanDuel.com right now and enter the promo code Marlin6. That's FanDuel.com, promo code Marlin6.
My friend John Shambi threatening to photobomb us. He'll be coming up next. He'll be in studio for the Mets and the Cubs as Curt Schilling, Karl Ravech, and Doug Glanville will have the call of Matt Harvey against the Cubs and company. As far as the 10 o'clock games are concerned, the Rockies and the Angels, the Padres and the Mariners, back to Cardi's corner. People just tweeting me how much they love. What are some last-minute changes you got? I swear to God, someone just tweeted me. What do you got?
Guy I'm looking at for my pitcher, Taijuan Walker. The Padres lineup tonight, not looking so good. They got Almonte leading off, Spangenberg batting second, no Will Myers, Derek Norris down in the lineup. I like him. That's going to leave you a lot of extra money so you can spend up on stars. Angels stars, Mariners stars. Mike Trout, Cole Calhoun, Nelson Cruz, those guys. Fill them in around Walker, you're good to go.
John F. Daly IV, big fan of yours on Twitter. Loves your work. Continue to keep that up. As always, you can tweet Derek at Derek Carty on Twitter.
Nailed Marlon Byrd today.
I'm telling you, man, the kid's killing it right now. Speaking of stars, Troy Tulowitzki is one of those guys, and now he's embroiled in some controversy. He's a guy, Alex, who has not been durable for the Colorado Rockies. When playing, he's certainly been sensational. But what do you make of his comments yesterday?
I mean, it's not acceptable. It's tough to play at that level, and it's tough to play with situations like that as a teammate. I had it in 2008 with Manny Ramirez. Those 2 weeks before the July trade deadline, horrible. I mean, is Manny going to play? Is Manny's knee hurt? Is he going to play left field today? Is he going to DH? Is he going to get traded? You know what? When he got traded, then after that, we took off. We got Jason Bay, and we were okay. I think it's a bad situation for the Rockies.
How much of your angst over this is related to the fact that they're in the middle of a 10-game losing streak?
Oh, horrible. I mean, there's not a good timing for this. It's worse when you're not playing good baseball. Actually, Antulo's hitting, what, 300 with 2 home runs? He's not playing great, so... I mean, it's tough.
If you look at this contract, Buster, you can see why front office types would be squeamish about acquiring it.
There's no question. I thought this was very passive-aggressive on his part. The agent talks about it. He says he doesn't know. Come on. If you want to get out, then go and ask for it. Look at all the money that's owed to him, $114 million. And he has such an ugly injury history, averaged 88 games a year for the last 3 years. So, yeah, he might want to get traded, but I've talked with rival executives, and they're saying, you know what? They may not get a lot of value in return. He's not easy to trade because the injury and the money.
Other side of that, some people do say perhaps the durability is because of the fact he plays in Coors Field. Have you heard anything about that?
Oh, well, without a doubt.
Right.
If I'm Tulo, I might even privately think that. You know, part of the reason why I might have a hard time staying healthy is because the recovery at elevation is a problem for all the Rockies players.
Certainly can't see that aspect of it as well. We'll continue to monitor that situation the days and weeks ahead with regards to Tulowitzki. But just a reminder, use #this all season long to share the amazing moments that only happen in Major League Baseball. Minutes away from first pitch. Mets and Cubs is coming up.
Pepsi is giving away 100 days of awesome music prizes. Follow us on Twitter and #OutOfTheBlue with a picture of Pepsi.
When broker Chris Hill stays at La Quinta and fires up free Wi-Fi with a network that's now up to 5 times faster than before, you know what he can do?
Let's see if he's ready.
He can swim with the sharks. Book your next stay at LQ.com.
I'm willing to answer for every shot that I took.
Let's go. I love our backyard. Give me a fastball here. Whoa. And when I'm with my daughter, there's no better place in the whole world.
Every home has a story. Tell yours at coldwellbanker.com.
Uptake remains strong.
Opinions. There's no shortage in this world. Who do you trust? Whose analysis is accurate? How do you make sense of it all? A simple, unbiased stock score consolidated from the opinions of independent analysts. Is that too much to ask? Nope. Equity Summary Score powered by StarMine will help you execute your ideas with speed and conviction. And it's only on Fidelity.com. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco spicy chicken is so deliciously hot, it's generating reactions from everyone, like the memer.
Ooh, eat spicy goodness like a boss.
The selfiers.
So good. Gotta get a selfie. So hot. Got a selfie or selfie.
And the behind the timeser.
This sandwich is the bomb. Raise the roof!
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco, our signature spicy chicken topped with fresh jalapenos and ghost pepper sauce. How will you react?
For Nick?
Yeah. You want to take a shortcut?
Sure. So how do you like driving the FRS?
I love it. Handles well. It's got plenty of power. This is it. Nah.
The Scion FRS. Lease one today at the Scion Zero Drive-Off lease event.
This is Adam Jones, center fielder for the Baltimore Orioles. When he's not playing baseball, he's watching baseball.
Sorry, got it.
When he's not watching baseball,
watch him run.
He's reading about baseball.
I'm going to nasty.
When he's not reading about baseball, he's listening to baseball.
I don't know how the hell I would pitch that.
And when he's not listening to baseball, he's playing baseball. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Baseball Tonight is presented by the local experts at your independent True Value and in part by Fidelity. Sunday Night Baseball, make sure you join us on television. Also, ESPN Radio. You got Buster on the TV side, John Shammy, Chris Singleton, part of the radio call, the Tigers and the Cardinals, Sunday 8 Eastern, also available on the Watch ESPN app. We got an update for you. Yankees and the Rays tied at 2. This is
Broken bat, right?
Make contact.
And that is going to drop. So it's 3-2 right now for the Rays. Asdrubal Cabrera there scoring. And the Rays have the edge. Meantime, we got a situation developing here in Cleveland. Through 6, Corey Kluber, folks, has a no-hitter.
Paint.
Mark Reynolds there. Peter Borges swinging. Colton Wong. He has 13 strikeouts, no walks. He did hit a guy, so no perfect game, but through 6, 81 pitches. Most ever strikeouts in a no-hitter, 17 Ks by Nolan Ryan in 1973. John Shammi's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He wanted to photobomb us, but we thought we'd drop by and be a little bit more uncomfortable.
A little more formal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might have
photobomb.
You might have a little Corey Kluber no-hitter to be talking about.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I like it.
Give me the tease. Mets, Cubs. You're going to be in the studio for this one. How great is Matt Harvey to watch?
Yeah, it's an event every time. An event every single time he pitches, home or road.
It's like Doc Gooden back in the middle 80s, right?
I want to see Chris Bryant.
Okay.
Get a fastball 2-0, leg it in, home run. I'm calling it.
We're going to pitch another one tonight.
We're on Kluber. Indians are right. He's not a problem.
Flip the bat like you.
Kluber.
Flip it.
It's going to be fun. Karl Ravech and Curt Schilling, Doug Glanville with the call. Gentlemen.
Adnan, thank you very much, and welcome to Wrigley Field, the north side of Chicago. The Chicago Cubs, a second-place team. The New York Mets, a first-place team. And it is cold here at Wrigley. It is hockey weather. The Blackhawks are in the playoffs, and so are the Bulls. And maybe the Cubs will be when this season is all over. The Nationals are sneaking up on the Mets, so they're feeling the heat. And the Chicago Cubs, like the Pirates and the Reds in that division, all around 500. The problem for them is the Cardinals have been the best team in baseball all season long with no signs of slowing down. Alongside Curt Schilling, I am Karl Ravech. Doug Glanville, the former Chicago Cub, familiar with the conditions, will join us from the outfield in just a couple of seconds. Hard to beat, though, a Harvey game against this group of young hitters. I can't imagine there's a better matchup in baseball than this one.
There isn't. And, you know, for me, as a young pitcher, I can identify with Jason Hamill. He's coming into this game. No one's talking about him. He's good. Right. And people get a chance. This is one of those nights where you say, all right, you know what? Talk about him all you want, but I'm going to be the guy to step up. You're talking about one of the game's best. He has only 277 innings, and I say only because the accolades and the adulation that he's gotten, I think, is deserved. He's still got a lot to prove. For me, the only thing that left for him to prove is that he's healthy. And that's what I'm watching for, not just tonight, but for the rest of the season. He takes his turn every 5th day because these guys are a team that might be just a player or two away from being ready to play in October.
Looking to join Felix Hernandez and Bartolo Colon as a 6-game winner. His next strikeout will be his 300th. All right, Doug, you are about 25 or so yards from where you used to roam the outfield, so you know about the conditions, but the bleachers are a little different this time around.
No, they've made an adjustment here into the party zone, and this is where the Cubs faithful rest and they get serious out here. And I talked to one of the Cubs staff, and they said, look, it's a big difference now that they've opened this up because they're right on top of the action, and the players notice the difference.
No doubt about it. So the renovation project to the field also mirrored on the field. They are young on the infield.
Well, this is where it all speaks to this youth movement. Starting with Anthony Rizzo, he's doing everything. The 2-strike approach, the batting average, steal some bases, the power, the confidence, making adjustments, moving around to Addison Russell, the young gun. Very exciting, electric, very aggressive at the plate, making things happen already at a young age of 21. Starlin Castro, you forget this guy's been here. It seems like he's been here forever. Led the league in plate appearances for 3 years. He's got a lot of experience, could be a trade piece even. And Chris Bryant, this is where it all comes together. The aptitude, the complete ball player, and already showing signs of making quick adjustments, especially when it comes to plate discipline and how pitchers are approaching him.
And power to right field, big triple last night to right on a fastball from Noah Syndergaard. He was the guy they were talking about last night, and Jake Arrieta overshadowed him. Will that be the case tonight when Matt Harvey takes the mound? And of course, Jason Hamill tries to overshadow him. Overshadowing this entire facility, Harry Carey. 7th inning, Doug Glanville will sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We all look forward to that, and the music that we'll see from Matt Harvey, Jason Hamill, the Mets and the Cubs. ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats and Hyundai. It's a Harvey game.
No.
The Dark Knight rises when we come back.
Do sandwiches grow on trees? No, but wood does. And wood, when lit on fire, turns meats into smoked meats. And smoked meats in the hands of an Arby's person make sandwiches. So in a way, we were wrong earlier. Sandwiches do grow on trees. Arby's Smokehouse Sandwiches. They're your new favorite fruits. Arby's, we have the meats.
We could tell you about the years of research and development. How we forged advanced high-strength steel to make the frame stronger yet lighter. The countless hours spent testing the suspension and tuning every sound from the engine to the trunk. But until you get behind the wheel, you have no idea. The completely redesigned Hyundai Sonata.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Our new app will revolutionize car service and repair.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Is that anything like Cars.com's new feature called Service and Repair?
No, because with ours, you'll know the cost of labor and parts in your area. Anyone else?
Like Cars.com?
So you'll never pay more than you should.
Like Cars.com.
Excuse me 1 second.
She's totally right. I messed up. I'm sorry.
Cancel the IPO?
Research, price, find. Now get the right service without all the drama. Cars.com. All drive, no drama.
From the very minute you have this idea that you want to be in business, you need to have that card.
Presentation is everything because they're not only first impression of you, but now you're handing them this product that really is kind of going to define your business in their mind pretty quickly.
You want a very thick card that feels nice in your client's hand.
I think it's nice to have a choice because sometimes you want a glossy card, but for other projects, I don't necessarily want all that.
Your business card is a reflection of you. It should say exactly what you want. With a range of design, stock, and finish options at Vistaprint, it will. Get 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Just enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
That business card, when I make a connection with someone, has to be phenomenal. It has to be elegant and invoke all the things that Diamond stands for.
Just that professionalism is going to make you, as a business owner, more successful just right off the bat.
Vistaprint.com.
You don't follow the Cubs. You suffer with them. You need proof? 2003. 1984. 1969. It is loyalty. It is insanity. Can something be a blessing and a curse at the same time? You brace for the worst, and you usually get it.
Not anymore. The new Cubs. Cubs are baby bears. And these are baby baseball players that are ready for the limelight. They can get the Cardinals to come back to earth. Mets and Cubs coming up in just a second, but first back to the studio, the first of many updates with John Sciambi tonight on this no-hit bid.
All right, Ravi, thanks very much. You have Corey Kluber working on a no-hitter. The right-hander has struck out 13 through 6 innings of work right here, getting Yadier Molina. But remember, last 4 starts, he's given up at least 5 runs in each of those starts. He's at 81 pitches through those 6 innings. But again, 13 strikeouts, no hits allowed. He has hit a batter in this game, and we'll keep you posted on Corey Kluber, as right now the Indians lead it 2-0. Elsewhere in the American League Central Division, you got the Twins, the Tigers. The bases are loaded, and Joe Mauer looking at a 3-bagger right here. That one will roll and roll and keep rolling and rolling, and it hits the wall. And 3 guys will come in to score. 6-0 Twins. Back out to Wrigley.
All right, John, how about the way the Twins are playing? How about Kluber, 13 Ks and no hits? And how about Joe Madden? So he gets here, Theo Epstein. They find a little loophole in the contract, get him out of Tampa. Perfect fit. Where do you think about Madden and the Cubs?
It's all been perfect. I mean, I watched Theo do this in Boston. This very same thing. Come in, bring in a new manager, rebuild a stadium that people wanted to replace and that people look at as a landmark. He understands, I think, above all else that your manager has to be able to communicate with his players. He saw it with Terry Francona. Now he's seen it with Joe Maddon. He's a believer. I think when you look at this team, they're so close to being, I think, a legitimate, consistent contender.
Sixth head-to-head meeting for the hope-to-be legitimate contending Cubs and, well, the first-place New York Mets. Terry Collins 2 weeks shy of his 66th birthday. Joe Maddon 61. You see the win-loss mark for Collins, and a lot of people beginning of the season, spring training, speculated on they got to get to the playoffs. This could be the end of his run with the Mets. He says he's got plenty more time left, especially if they win. Some of that will come from an offense that has just been terrible, and it is depleted. Granderson will lead off, followed by Daniel Murphy, who's hitting over 300 the last handful of games. Then it's Michael Kadire, Lucas Duda. You notice the shortstop Wilmer Flores bats 5. He's got 4 homers. That leads this team. And they're missing Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate, and of course David Wright at third base. So Arrieta last night, outstanding. Jake, for the Cubs, what's Jason Hammel bring?
Well, he's a top of the rotation guy, kind of sneaking in. He's a guy that you look for 200 innings. He understands. He has a good feel for pitching, and you know, everybody's talking about Matt Harvey, and rightly so. But this is the kind of night when a pitcher, Jason Hammell's looking at this, going, "Okay, you keep talking about this guy and those guys, and skip over me, but at the end of the game, come out and make a statement in a game like this."
Remember, Hammel was traded last year from the Cubs to the A's, almost with what felt like, Doug, you can kind of speak to this, a kind of understanding you're going to come back here because you do fit here, and it works really well as you take a look at that trade with Smarja and Hammel, Dan Straley and Billy McKinney.
Well, and you can't ignore the Addison Russell factor. That just sort of puts the exclamation point on this trade. But Hammel, you know, came back. He fits very well in this rotation. If he could be a strong, you know, number 3 when you have going behind Lester, Arrieta, that's where the Cubs can really make some noise.
So Curtis Granderson, the right fielder, leads things off. A little different Curtis Granderson than we've seen the last couple of years, striking out less. And the first pitch from Hammel's in there for a strike. Paul Emmel is the home plate umpire tonight. He's calling balls and strikes. Granderson lifts this one to left. Back goes Coughlin at the track, looking up, making the catch at the ivy.
Yeah, this is well done by Coughlin. You always recognize you're dealing with a brick wall, people, behind that ivy. So he turns to a stronger side. He felt comfortable fighting the wind. But that contact point, I tell you, this does not feel good, especially in this cold weather. So you know you're going to wear it. But concentration was full effect. He put his arm out, made the play.
The only ballpark you put your hand up and you touch leaves against the wall, that ivy. And Kurt, we were here opening night. It was brown. It's starting to turn green.
Yeah, there was nothing out there. But I can tell you, standing on this mound, you feel like your right shoulder is going to bump up against the left field wall. Daniel
Murphy, 1-0, now 1-1 as he misses on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Hammel. Murph's had a nice run his last 10 games, hitting .308. His issues defensively, and because of those injuries, he's played second base, he's played third base. Tonight he'll be at third base.
Base, number 1!
Got to stay warm, got to be enthusiastic.
I bet you they're finding ways to stay warm out there.
Well, a guy like Murphy, though, you know what you're getting with him. Like that's the thing about Murphy. He's just sort of a steady, stable, predictable player. You can rely on what he's going to contribute.
All right, well, Hamels, who came in with a 35-5 strikeout to walk ratio, walks Daniel Murphy.
Well, the challenge of a night like tonight is you want to get out quickly. First of all, you don't want your defense standing in the field very much. But this is a tough offensive night. The weather's not conducive to scoring. You've got two guys who work around the corners of strike zone. The last thing you want to do, and he doesn't know this, is to walk someone early in this game.
See the .684 on base plus slugging. So it combines how many times you get on base with your ability to hit homers, triples, extra base hits, not just singles. Kadire is a double play candidate as well. And a work in progress still with that young infield with Castro and Russell. .43 degrees. How about the ability to grip a baseball?
The worst possible. I'll take any weather but this. You cannot get, everything feels like a pool ball. Very slick. So you're fighting for moisture.
It's not a bad time as a team to just put guys in motion. I mean, because you're not going to get that 3-run home run easily, so make something happen.
Kadire rips one into left through the hole. And the Mets got 2 men on. Nice job by Kadire, who is hitting .241.
Well, one of the things about pitching against a guy like Matt Harvey, you should recognize early in the game that a runner could be the winning run against a guy like this. So command is at a premium, especially fastball. Tried to go away. That ball drifts right back over the middle, and he kind of gets lucky a little bit, and the ball was down, and he hit it on the ground because that guy is some kind of strong as a hitter.
Yes. And that brings up the cleanup hitter, Lucas Duda. 13 RBIs on the season, 3 home runs, hitting .286.
Oh.
43 degrees and a hit by pitch. That stings, but the bases are loaded, and Hamill, a control pitcher, having a hard time locating anything. An amazing sort of backwards number for Hamill is that he gets hit a lot more the first time through the order than he does the second or third time.
That's a kind of for my generation, that's kind of a Tom Glavine statistic. In a guy, he has trouble getting himself settled in, and then he becomes effective, which is great. But again, against a guy like Harvey tonight, or against a good pitcher, you know, the winning run could be on third base right now.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to kind of push yourself to be good from the get-go.
Wilmer Flores bats. First pitch, strike. This is one of the things the Mets haven't been able to do, obviously, during this recent slide, is hit with men on, men in scoring position.
The one thing I try to talk with young pitchers, you get that leadoff hitter, you're always 1 pitch away.
Ahead 0-2 now.
1 pitch away from being out of an inning. No matter where the runners are, you're a line drive double play or a ground ball, you got to get that leadoff hitter, and that changes the complexion of the inning.
Boy, the Mets would love to get Harvey a lead here in the conditions that are just not conducive to hitting.
Yeah, it's no fun when you hit a ball off the end of the bat or get jammed in this weather. You will feel it. For 3 innings, your hands are numb.
Out of play.
Well, I can honestly tell you, this is a night when the weather would impact my game plan. This is a night when I would actually try intentionally early, first time around lineup, to throw more fastballs in. A, because it's more effective, but B, as much as I worked away and as much as Jason works away and as Matt works away, you want them to be conscious of that inside corner in this weather because it opens up the outer half.
One and two.
And the truth is, as a hitter, you're very conscious of that inside pitch because you do not want to get jammed. You know it. And the ball's going to go, 60 feet, slow roller. So, Flores' job here is to get that ball elevated, try to get some air under it, because, if you're not getting the barrel to the ball, you're in trouble.
This one to left. Coughlin's there, and we'll see the tag from Murphy on a ball that's very shallow and caught. No tag. And the wind did have an effect on that. It blew it halfway back to the infield.
Dougie, his first step was back on that ball.
Absolutely. That was a little bit of a misread, but the weather, just the wind factor is what had him change his direction. But, anytime in Wrigley, it's an adventure. And, he's getting under it. But he had enough hang time where he could come through, and he busted hard to get that adjustment. But, Wrigley is one of the toughest out there because you're dealing with all the elements, especially day game. You got the sun.
The wind almost turned that into an infield fly.
He was 10 feet from the track when he started to come in.
And Castro peeled off right away the shortstop.
Well, that's the thing about infield. You cannot give up on any Any pop-up, you cannot give up.
Kevin Plawecki now as Hamill tries to get out of this.
Hey, Dougie, that makes this park different, though. I mean, I don't remember other fields playing that way except for maybe the old Candlestick, where everything in the air is in play for everybody.
Everybody, you got to go. I remember literally Mark McGwire hit a ball behind him, like over the third base dugout. It was probably the windiest game I've ever played here. And it landed somewhere in short left field. Everybody gave up on it. Everybody.
In there for a strike, evens it up at 1-1. Boy, Curt, you're the Mets. Don't you really got to get something
Well,
here?
yeah, you do, but that's what you're feeding off as a pitcher. Is they're struggling offensively. I know coming in, hey, they're having trouble scoring runs. They're going to be extra aggressive, and so you try to use that in these situations, get them to chase a pitch.
2-1.
And it gets tougher and tougher as he goes deeper. Is he going to keep going with that sort of slider slur of action? All of a sudden you bounce it, you don't get that grip. And Wrigley is really tough. If that ball gets behind the catcher, very tough to recover and get the guy at the plate.
Oh, great pitch.
2-2, and the offensively challenged Mets here, if you take a look at it, their slugging percentage relative to last year down even more. 2.8 runs a game, a .220 batting average, and a .279 on base plus. That's worst, all of them.
Well, and that doesn't translate to a hitter. To me, that translates to a lineup. I can approach them differently because they're pushing to try and score.
2-2. Got him, and he leaves the bases loaded. The Mets' offensive struggles continue. And we go from a team struggling to a team dying to get up to the plate and start ripping. Chris Bryant and the rest of the Cubs, although he just left. We'll be back.
The long road through the NBA playoffs is filled with great peril. At times, there is no end in sight, only obstacles. It's enough to drive even the most hardened players mad. This season, the playoffs belong to the mad.
When broker Chris Hill stays at La Quinta and fires up free Wi-Fi with a network that's now up to 5 times faster than before, you know what he can do?
Let's see if he's ready.
He can swim with the sharks. Book your next stay at LQ.com.
Bring us your aching and sleep deprived. Bring us those who want to feel well rested. Aleve PM, the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve. Be a morning person again with Aleve PM.
Nissan Altima with up to 270 horsepower. Get the ride of your life at your local Nissan store. Lease the 38 MPG Highway Altima just $189 per month. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
So, yes, French fries and I are pregnant. And we're having chicken fries.
Everybody just calm down.
Again?
There's just no stopping true love. Chicken fries are back at Burger King.
Sun setting here in Chicago, and the New York Mets didn't score. They had the bases loaded. One man down. Now Chicago and its lineup to face Matt Harvey. Fowler leads off, Dexter, and then it's the young guns. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo. Because Bryant's had such success the last couple of nights, you almost forget that Rizzo is batting third here. I mean, he's hitting .330 and continues to develop. And then there's Starlin Castro, who is a hitting machine. 883 hits since 2010, top 10 in Major League Baseball. Montero's the catcher, and the pitchers love to throw to him. Coughlin had a big home run last night. Hamill bats 8th, and then Addison Russell will bat 9th. Joe Madden likes to have what he says are 2 leadoff hitters back-to-back in the 9 spot and the 1 spot. And there's the guy known as the Dark Knight. When he pitches at Citi Field, they call it a Harvey Day, and more people go to those games than any other games. And now you got Syndergaard, Noah, who pitched last night, Jacob deGrom, like the all-hair pitching staff. Here comes Harvey's first pitch. You throw a breaking ball in there for a strike.
Yep. I mean, this is a guy who makes you a first-place team when he's on the mound, no matter what your lineup does.
Dexter Fowler has scored a run in 5 straight games, which means he's getting on base a lot. 96
Just getting loose.
Outside corner.
And if he gets that call all night,
that's
I
a
mean,
problem.
this is going to be bad for the Cubs.
Very quick game. Oh.
Strikeout number 1, another one at 96, and he challenged him. And Harvey's numbers actually, strikeout-wise, have gone down a little bit.
Well, he's starting to pitch and learn how to pitch. And I'm going to tell you that first pitch breaking ball to start the game, when you that is what you do to an aggressive lineup to give them that thought. His 300th career strikeout was pitched, not thrown.
Right.
Breaking ball to start. The guy throws 97, 98, 99. He comes out with confidence and command in his fastball and goes breaking ball first pitch. And again. So now, for me, when I did that, it was to a young lineup to make them think. Now they're because they're aggressive early in the count. Now they're not going to be, or you take that out of them.
But this is the matchup: Harvey and Bryant. He got a strike with an off-speed pitch, and now he misses to even it up at 1-1. This is why you're so excited about this particular game. You've got one of the best, if not the best, pitchers in baseball against one of the young stars in Kris Bryant, who's gotten hotter.
Seeing 3 straight breaking balls.
Well, that's early respect.
I'm calling fastball in right here.
Bryant, left field, just foul, but he, like Rizzo, they can turn around fastballs. Woo.
Yeah, see, I don't understand how you do this as a hitter. That's a good pitch. He got his barrel. Wow, that's some quick hands.
That one is going to go out of play as well. Doug, you can just feel Bryant, though, and sort of the comfort level. That triple last night off the right field wall he talked about after the game. He hadn't been able to do that yet.
Well, that was the key. I mean, when Bryant is really attuned to the fact that when he's letting the ball travel and he can go the other way with authority, he's locked in.
1-2.
You're going to see his best fastballs tonight to this guy and the guy hitting behind him.
95.6 is average. Kris Bryant, you throw it that hard, he hits it. Not there, and it was an off-speed breaking ball. And Bryant goes down. Harvey 1, Bryant nothing.
When you look at a pitcher, a young pitcher maturing, and I mean young from an innings perspective, this is what you start to see as they start to get, especially primarily fastball guys, you start to see the breaking ball early. I want to get you out with my 96, 97, but I need you to know there's something else there, and that slider is something else.
Right.
Now those foul balls, as a pitcher, I'm all right with that because they're foul balls. That's exactly what I'm trying to get you to do. You get aware of that ball in, and then you can do that to finish the at-bat.
Anthony Rizzo gets into one to right, and that's going over the head of Granderson, but he gets there. What a job by Curtis Granderson to run it down. And if Harvey takes anything away from it, he knows that Bryant and Rizzo can turn a fastball around. Zeros after 1 at Wrigley.
It's nearly Memorial Day, so hurry into Lowe's for these great deals, like $10 off select deck and concrete resurfacers via online or mail-in rebate, plus 10% off composite decking. So before this Memorial Day, come to Lowe's and enjoy special savings.
Lennox makes the most energy-efficient system you can find, which means the appliance you use the most will also save you the most.
Clocks are a buzzkill, so Fridays is killing the clocks. In here, every day's Friday and every hour's happy. Get boneless sriracha wings, bacon wrapped jalapenos, or a featured drink, $5 or less. All day, every day. Happy Friday.
Let's go. I love our backyard. All right, give me a fastball here. Whoa. And when I'm with my daughter, there's no better place in the whole world.
Every home has a story. Tell yours at coldwellbanker.com.
We need snacks in here. Do you have any?
Pretzels, granola bars, energy bars, trail mix.
Nuts?
Cashews, pistachios, pecans, walnuts, almonds.
Cost a lot?
Peanuts.
Maybe not your best.
Make on budget happen, make break time happen. Staples, make more happen.
If you're looking for a car that drives you and takes the wheel right from your very hands, this isn't that car. The first and only car with direct adaptive steering. The 328 horsepower Q50 from Infiniti.
Welcome back, Wrigley Field. Karl Ravech, Curt Schilling, Doug Glanville, Mets, and the Cubs. Kirk Neuenhuis leads things off. First pitch ball from Jason Hamill. Neuenhuis hitting 100. He's really struggled so far this season. They don't have a lot of depth and a lot of lefties off the bench. Juan Lagares is still dealing with kind of a rib injury, so you remove Lagares and then you move Travis d'Arnaud and Wright. Mets kind of believe that they're going to be able to get the offense back when the players get healthy.
Well, it's a big blow with Lagares out. Just the way he approaches center field certainly would be an asset for Harvey.
And if you truly believe you're a good team, you find a way through things like this. Your pitching staff picks up your offense.
Right.
And when those guys start to come back, they pick up your pitching. That's how it works over 162 game schedule for good teams.
Watch the win. Hoagland comes a long way, and he makes the play. All right, back to John Shambi for an update, John.
All right, Ravi, we told you Corey Kluber, no-hitter at the end of 6. He struck out the first 2 guys in the 7th, and then Peralta punches it back up the middle, ended a no-hitter. Kluber in this one with a career-high 16 strikeouts. Back to Wrigley.
Whew. Kerry Woodish, 16 strikeouts. Of course, it's 20 strikeout performance for the Cubs. The last Cub no-hitter, Carlos Zambrano back in 2008, Houston at Milwaukee. Met fans will remember their no-hitter, Johan Santana. Sort of the good and the bad, the blessing and the curse of that one.
Yeah. Terry Collins still talks about that with some, you can kind of feel the pain.
Yeah. This is Dilson Herrera. He's the second baseman tonight. And a good second baseman. You heard Alex Cora on Baseball Tonight talk about how he's improved the defense, especially up the middle with double plays. He went, he's gone. Second strikeout of the night for Jason Hamill. Want to remind everybody while we're here on a Wednesday night, you got games on Sunday. We'll be in St. Louis. Baseball Tonight just before at 7 o'clock Eastern time. They'll deal with the Detroit Tigers. Tigers right now losing to the Minnesota Twins, but they've been the 2 best teams really in their respective leagues. And then Monday it's the Cardinals and the New York Mets. Baseball Tonight 5:30 Eastern time. Get you set with a little fantasy slant every Monday and Wednesday, folks. And then it is a Mart Harvey game. And that's also a different atmosphere when he's pitching at Citi Field. Whew, good rip by 33, but he misses.
He definitely does not want to hit off the end. I mean, because you got numb hands and you're trying to pitch. That's also bad for the Cubs.
Speak to that.
He was, yeah, he was resigned to the outcome there, and his hands are going to be okay. He'll come back. Went 1-2-3 in the first. Zeros on the board in Chicago.
Did you know that DirecTV rated higher than cable in customer satisfaction for the 14th year in a row? But don't just take my word for it. Take it straight from my horse's mouth.
Yes, she's right. Anyway, back to my story. So there I was in Tijuana, and this guy comes up to me and says, "How would you like to be in showbiz?" And that's how I met Dickie Wittenberger. A horrible agent, but a beautiful man.
Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Okay, this role is about energy.
We're looking for a luxury hybrid with the best city fuel economy rating.
The Lincoln MKZ hybrid. And who has one starting price for gas or hybrid?
MKZ hybrid again?
Upstage them.
The Lincoln Luxury Uncovered event is on. Lease the MKZ or MKZ hybrid for $289 a month. Plus, for a limited time, competitive owners and lessees get $1,000 bonus cash.
The switch to T-Mobile is on. Even Verizon customers are seeing the light. T-Mobile has America's fastest 4G LTE network. From the Bay Area to the Big Apple. And more data capacity per customer. Need one more reason? Get 2 lines of unlimited 4G LTE data for $100. Save without settling on America's fastest 4G LTE network.
Recently opened those left field bleachers. Huge video scoreboard there. You can see the image of Starlin Castro in a moment ago. And Doug Glanville, of course, roamed the outfield for parts of 3 seasons with the Cubs. He's located out there in,
see that guy right there?
Kind of left center. There he's waving.
Every inning, the Cubs faithful have brought me more winter attire. So by the end, I will have a parka, and I will enter the Iditarod.
Mush. Well, they let a fire out there. We need a little bonfire out there.
I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't happened. By the 7th inning, absolutely.
Well, given the construction, the code violations, we probably won't have any flammable. But that skull cap's working.
Good look for you,
oh,
Doug.
man, it's awesome out here. But they put these things up pretty quickly. I mean, they said the right field will be done sometime in mid-June or so. So they're going to get the full effect of the bleacher impact. These fans are serious out here.
Castro's got the whole hoodie working. They were wearing that for most of batting practice earlier today.
Oh yeah, they had ski caps on. I mean, I remember Ray Sanchez, a teammate of mine. You couldn't even see anything but his eyes. And Chipper Jones, we had an opening day here. He looked like he was going to explode if one of the buttons popped off because he had a parka underneath his jersey. I mean, it's cold. It's just what it is.
Harvey's got his 3rd strikeout. That was paint there to Castro. 4 up and 3 have been retired via the strikeout. We send it back to John Shammy.
All right, Ravi, the Pirates played a little bit better, got over 500 last night, and they need this guy to get going. And McCutchen off of Hamels, a 2-run single. Pittsburgh on the road, and right now leading Philadelphia 2-1. Now it's 2-2.
Yeah, they do need to get it going. And the good news, they believe McCutchen's knee is just going to keep improving as opposed to taking a step back. Harvey to Miguel Montero. Ooh, breaking pitch right under the bat.
It's fun to watch because this brings back some memories in the sense I didn't throw this hard at this age of my career, but he's setting them up for the next time, not just the next time around, but the next game and the rest of the season.
Just misses on the inside.
Well, it's really frustrating as a hitter when you feel like the pitcher is always a step ahead. Like every plan you have, he's neutralizing as if he's literally in your head. I mean, Greg Maddux, he did that all day. You're like, wait a minute, as soon as you start looking for a slider, you get the fastball. He's just exactly in tune. And, these guys watch your body. They watch if you're leaning. I mean, they're paying attention to all the details of your approach on every pitch.
Well, the count to 400 strikeouts is well underway. He picked up his 300th tonight with his first strikeout of the game. That was against Dexter Fowler. The all-time, and this speaks to how great Dwight Gooden was, it took him 35 games to get to 300 strikeouts. Back up the middle, that's going to get through, and Harvey's given up his first hit.
When you're a fastball guy, and I'm talking mid to upper 90s, and hitters are going to try and jump on you early, except when you start to do this. And this, to me, he had a conscious game plan to come in tonight against a young, very aggressive lineup. And you look at the swings and the takes. These guys are sitting 96, 97, getting the breaking ball for strikes. Now, I thought he made a mistake backing up a changeup right there with another one. Sometimes younger pitchers, innings-wise, younger pitchers can get caught up with their breaking stuff when they don't have to.
And that's on the catcher. That's on Harvey.
I think it's on both. I mean, you're feeling he's still young in that sense, and he's feeling his way through. And you know, to me,
both young. Pelocchi's very young too.
They are, but if you watch Jason Hamill, I think he understands his stuff.
Yep.
Whereas Matt is still trying to feel his way through some of his stuff.
Strike to Jorge Soler, and this is a guy that can hit a fastball. He makes a living basically hitting fastballs.
Well, what you learn as a power pitcher early is that even fastball hitters, you can get them out with fastballs, but it's all about where you put the ball.
And Soler just, having a very difficult time on off-speed pitches. And that's, and the swing and miss factor. I mean, you're talking over 57% of the time when he gets those secondary pitches, those off-speeds, he struggles. Now he's up against a guy who has basically 3 secondary pitches that are all plus pitches. So it's a tall order. He's got to try to find that mistake fastball.
2-1. There's one he chases to even the count up at 2-2. Historically, the numbers are trending towards the kind that end up in record books. He's got 47 strikeouts already.
Right.
I mean, he's trending towards 280 to 300.
Well, he's trending that way, but generally when you start to trend that way, you don't get there. Because if you don't make the adjustments, you don't stay.
Of course, Javier Baez has been sent down, the second baseman, because he struck out too often. That one on the ground. Herrera for 1 to first, double play. Soler hits into a 4-6-3 double play. Good turn by Wilmer Flores. And the middle infield gets Harvey off the hook after he gives up his first hit. Back to Wrigley. Cubs and Mets right after this.
Go take the trail less traveled and save on the gear you need at Bass Pro Shop's Go Outdoors Event and Sale. With great deals on gear for camping, hiking, and paddle sports. Plus free kids fishing in our catch and release pond this weekend.
Hi, can you open the razor case, please?
Photo ID.
I'm just grabbing some razors.
Grabbing?
It's almost like they don't want you to buy their razors. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors for just a few bucks.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
Our lives are not fully lived if we're not willing to die for those we love. There's our girl. And for what we believe. Mr. President, people are dying.
You got one big issue, I got 101.
Selma's the place.
This is the next great battle.
What happens when a man says enough is enough?
Selma. Movies start at Channel 125.
Jaw pliers have 3 times the gripping power of traditional locking pliers. And the power slot pliers go through wire with half the effort. Irwin Vice Grip Pliers.
What's up with your car?
Pretty sure it's possessed and out of warranty.
I'm going to cost you a fortune at the dealership, Cheryl.
Well, at Midas, our experts will tell you what needs fixing now and what can wait. And they don't laugh at people.
I'm sorry, Cheryl. No, I'm not. I am not sorry at all.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package with oil change, tire rotation, and more. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $20. Go to Midas.com to make an appointment. Trust the Midas Touch.
Introducing the Sirloin Third Pound Burgers from McDonald's. They're 100% sirloin topped with premium ingredients, and they're only around for a limited time. That's not the only reason you need to hurry.
Rabble, rabble.
Enjoy this lovin' while it lasts.
Back here in Chicago, Wrigley Field, time for you to vote. All-Stars 2015 Esurance Major League Baseball All-Star Game ballot for the 2015 All-Star Game. Vote at MLB.com/vote. The excitement of the 86th Major League Baseball All-Star Game, July 14th. We move to the third inning. What was anticipated to be a pitcher's duel, low-scoring night, cold night. Mets' lack of offense contributes. They had him loaded in the first and couldn't bring a run in. They had him loaded with 1 out. Granderson sent Coughlin to the track his first time up, as he bats for the second time tonight.
And I like what Granderson's been doing, trying to truly work the leadoff, work the count, go the other way. He's just done a nice job of adjusting. And look, he's in a bigger stadium than when he was at the Yankees.
Turns that one on the ground and fielded very cleanly by Anthony Rizzo at first for the out. Of course, the Mets have had 6 straight losing seasons, and the way that they are kind of talking even behind the scenes, there doesn't appear to be an urgency to improve the offense dramatically. They do believe when the players that are hurt get back and the pitching they have, especially with the bullpen now that Juris Familia has filled in for the suspended Henry Mejia, they're going to be okay on the back end of the bullpen as well. Daniel Murphy's on for the second time tonight with a single. What would you do if you were sort of in the position of the Mets today?
Well, I think they're a big bat away, whether they get their hitters back or not. They're going to get Wright back. They'll get d'Arnaud back. But I think both of these lineups need a bat, kind of a winner big free agent bat. And
the Cubs too, huh?
Well, listen, I think if you look at that lineup with Bryant at 2, Rizzo at 3, and you put somebody at 4, that becomes a potent offense if you've got a guy at the top of the lineup that's getting on 40% of the time. Because right now, Rizzo's not going to beat me as a pitcher. I'm going to let Castro do that if I have to.
This is Michael Kadire, who is a big bat. He's been around a long time. But strong, able to drive the ball out of Citi Field. Came over, of course, from the Rockies. David Wright kind of petitioned him a little bit.
Yeah, you got to get Murphy in motion here. You try to mix it up, get out of that double play situation, just make something happen.
Kadire, double play ball. Castro. Oh, good scoop by Rizzo. Made the first out unassisted, and he helps the double play with the scoop. Tough throw from Addison Russell, but Anthony Rizzo helps get the job done. Jason Hamill rolling through 3. Bottom of the order for the Cubs coming up when we come back.
F provokes lust. It elicits pride, incites envy, and unleashes wrath. Temptation comes in many heart-pounding forms, but only one letter. F, the performance mark from Lexus.
Bring us your aching and sleep deprived. Bring us those who want to feel well rested. Aleve PM, the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve. Be a morning person again with Aleve PM.
Who does this kind of thing online?
I clicked on some links. The kids weren't even at home.
Wait. This changes everything. It's Cars.com's service and repair feature, so we'll never pay more than we should. Well done.
Research, price, find. Get the right service without all the drama.
This is how you'll look when you shop at DXL. But this is how you'll feel. All the brands you love, waist size 38 and up, all in one awesome store. DXL, you're looking good.
Taco Bell's new Steak Double Dia. 2 helpings of juicy marinated steak inside of a cheesy quesadilla with a side of chips and salsa. Unbox it only at Taco Bell.
What's that noise?
Get down! Get down! Take cover!
The largest earthquake in history is coming.
We're going now! Dad, please help me!
What if he doesn't make it?
You have to trust me that he will.
San Andreas, rated PG-13, May 29th.
It's back. Pepsi made with real sugar. Now in regular cherry and vanilla.
We're back Wrigley Field on a chilly night. Karl Ravech, Curt Schilling, Doug Glanville. Chicago coming to bat for the third time. Bottom of the third. Chris Coghlan, the left fielder, took a big rip last night and turned it into a home run. And that helped the Chicago Cubs win another one. Amazing, you look around baseball and you got those division leaders that have pulled away from everybody, but the Cubs winning percentage among the best in the National League. Hit hard on the ground, a second. Dilson Herrera swallows it up, then makes the play. So Matt Harvey's on the mound tonight. Take a look at this 2009 North Carolina Tar Heel team that made it all the way to Omaha. In the midst of a big run for those Carolina Tar Heels, Adam Moore and Dustin Ackley hit about 600 during that College World Series. Kyle Seager was a member of that 2009 team. They did not win the College World Series that year. And in fact, I think Harvey had a game in which he either threw like 4 wild pitches to sort of set a College World Series record. If it was, I think it was against Arizona State. He had some bizarre off game that's still on the College World Series record books. We'll check on that. I think it was wild pitches though in a game. He had 4.
Just ask him, he'll remember it.
He would remember.
Oh
that.
yeah.
But think about the careers, you know, you're starting to see, especially in Seattle, Ackley and Seager.
You look at over that period of time, there was a couple amateur teams that had rosters, and all of those guys are in the big leagues. I remember one of those teams, Andrew Miller, didn't make it.
Yeah, North Carolina team. Yeah. Pitcher Jason Hamill. If you were constructing a lineup, would you do this, what Joe does, having the pitcher hit 8th?
You know what? I would love to tell you something really intelligent, but I don't know. I mean,
nothing on that.
I'm going to say that Joe Maddon doesn't just do things to be different.
No.
I think he does things because he believes he's maximizing his offense.
Hamill went. They call it strikeout number 4. And we send it back to the big redhead, John Shambi.
Well, the big fella for the Rangers, Ravi, Prince Fielder, he's starting to heat up. Look at this thing. Bringing rain. Fielder's starting to get the power game going. He's got 4 homers, and it's 4-0 Texas.
Kind of root for Prince Fielder to do well.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's had so many down years here recently. Take a look at the Royals. First in the American League Central. We've seen them on our telecasts on Sunday night. Here to stay.
You see that first pitch right there? Fastball away. Going around, getting ready to go around the lineup. He set him up right there. You set hitters up, for me, a lot of times by the guys hitting in front of them, especially smart hitters who are watching, hey, breaking ball this. He's looking breaking ball. You get the fastball away there, and you get ahead.
Strikeout number 5. He gets the high strike called. And it's a Harvey night. It's also a Hamill night. Pitchers have been the dominant story so far. Matt's got 5. He and Noah Syndergaard, by the way, first-round draft picks in 2010 to pay off the 09 Heels.
Hello. Scott, we're here because we love you. You fed your lawn earlier this spring, and now you're at it again. We're concerned.
Thanks, neighbors. But summer's on its way. While the grass may look bonny green and lovely now, it still needs a late spring feeding to keep it that way. Another feeding now with Scott strengthens and helps defend your lawn from the brutal heat and heavy use to come.
Let's go feed. Yeah.
Go feed. Get Scott's Turf Builder lawn food. Feed your lawn. Feed it. Scott's is proud to be the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball.
This is real buttermilk, where real biscuits come from. This is made from scratch.
The Mile High Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit. Only at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Come on, Serena.
All right, Rockets. I bet we can do it even
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the Rockettes years to master their craft, but only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at the ATM, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
This is Adam Jones, center fielder for the Baltimore Orioles. When he's not playing baseball,
he's watching baseball.
Sorry, got it. Saying that.
When he's not watching baseball,
Watch him run.
he's reading about baseball.
I'm going to nasty.
When he's not reading about baseball, he's listening to baseball.
I don't know how the hell I would pitch that.
And when he's not listening to baseball, he's playing baseball. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're enjoying ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. It's brought to you by McDonald's. And we invite you to watch every Art of Market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Everyone's favorite is the pitch tracking widget. Every night on every device, visit MLB.TV for details. Of course, baseball tonight on each and every night. Mondays and Wednesdays at 5:30. Following the games, Monday and Wednesday around 10. Of course, on a Wednesday when there's an 8 o'clock game, we got a baseball tonight on at 7. Lucas Duda bats after getting hit by a pitch in the first. Pulls that one foul.
It's interesting, though. He's seen 3 pitches. All 3, same breaking ball. One of them hit him. The other one, first pitch strike. You just saw another one there. And, I mean, he's telling me as a pitcher, fastball in. Because he's having trouble keeping something slow fair. He's not going to be able to keep something on the inside half fair either.
0-2. This one lifted to right. Playable. Center fielder comes over and gets in the way and makes the play as Dexter Fowler.
You need a bazooka to get it into those stands tonight. I mean, it's heavy out here.
There's some guys swinging bazookas in this game, though.
This is true. This is true.
Anthony Rizzo early in the game in the first sent one to right center that Granderson had to chase down.
You remember we were in spring training. Jorge Soler walking by him. That guy is a monster.
This is a team of big guys.
Yeah.
Rizzo's huge. Bryant's big guy.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? And I'm going to date myself, and I know I'm old, but you remember the Dodger infield, Garvey, Russell, Say, and Lopes? They all brought them up together. You know, clearly this is a team with some enormous upside there, but I think it feels like the same thing.
Ooh. Called a strike. Flores bowed out.
Well, yeah, I can't laugh at that because I did that so many times. You're thinking... Yep. Yeah, I will laugh at it. I'm laughing with him, though.
1-1. This one is sky high. Addison Russell out. Makes the play, and back to John Sciambi. John.
All right, Ravi. Well, tonight is over for Corey Kluber, but not before he pick up a couple more strikeouts. Gets Molina right there. And then Reynolds, 18 punch-outs for Kluber, most since Ben Sheets in 2004.
Impressive night for Kluber, and boy, did the Indians and Kluber need that.
Yeah.
I mean, Cy Young guys don't start out 0-5. It's so rare. And the fighting Franconas, if you will, have really been struggling. Good sign there. This one laced. And Fowler runs it down. Boy, on one pitch, Fowler on his toes. He makes the catch. Kevin Plawecki lining out. Remember what we said? Hamill gets better as the game goes on. The Mets may have had their best chance in the first, and Fowler denies that one.
Excuse me, do you have the keys for the razor case?
No.
Can anyone help me get some razors?
No.
It's kind of like they don't want you to buy razors. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors for just a few bucks.
Go take the scenic route and save on the gear you need at Bass Pro Shops, like a 6-pack of LED flashlights for under $10 and a Masterbuilt electric smoker with free cover for under $130. Plus free kids fishing this weekend.
New jalapeno fresco chicken is so deliciously hot, it's generating reactions from everyone.
Jalapeno wearing sunglasses. Fire flame, fire flame.
Hands clapping, thumbs up.
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco, our signature spicy chicken with fresh jalapenos and ghost pepper sauce. How will you react?
If you're looking for a car that drives you and takes the wheel right from your very hands, this isn't that car. The first and only car with direct adaptive steering. The 328 horsepower Q50 from Infiniti.
Great sports city, Chicago, and this season has been really good. The Bulls currently down 3-2. Game 6 Thursday in Chicago on ESPN. Cleveland good, LeBron great last night. And the Blackhawks, they sweep the Wild in round 2. Now get the Ducks in the conference finals. So yeah, Patrick Kane, Ryan Sandberg. This is such a great sports town, great sports city.
It's so fun to come here to play, especially as a young player.
White Sox are a good team this year and should improve. Fowler tried to lay a bunt down on Harvey and pulls it foul.
I got the Blackhawks. That's my pick. Barry Melrose kind of gave me a little tip there, and my oldest son Garrick is saying the Rangers. So that's a problem.
A lot of Blackhawk hats, jerseys around.
Good pitch.
I went to the game here for the Winter Classic.
Oh,
I mean,
how cool was that?
I had like 8 socks on, but it was pretty awesome.
Was it colder tonight or colder that night?
No, that night, no question, not even close. It was freezing, but
that is such an amazing event.
Really fun.
I went to the one at Fenway.
Woo! Fowler ducks out of the way of that. 2-1. You guys talk about the temperature. So there have been 8 games here at Wrigley this year with a game time temp of 50 degrees or below. 8 times 50 or below. Fowler hits this one to center field, and it's right at Kirk Neuenhuis. So you take those 8 games at 50 or below. The Cubs are 6-2 in those games, but the key here is they've won 4 of them by shutout, and they lost 1 in a shutout. So you're not scoring runs with the temperature like that and the wind blowing in, and you got Harvey and Hamill on the mound.
Well, and Dougie played here, so he's obviously a lot more in tune. But as a visiting player, I came here and thought, oh my goodness, this ballpark's so tiny. But the wind is everything here, because the wind can make this park play 200 down the lines or 400.
And this guy can hit it out. Chris Bryant on this night, he does take a rip at it, doesn't he?
But he was late on that ball because of how he set this lineup up the first time around.
Absolutely, Kurt. And he was ahead of the other fastballs he hooked foul. So he's like, all right, let me stay back a little bit. By you, too late.
Yeah, well, you've seen him. First 2 guys in the lineup second time around have been fastballs.
Bounces one. 3 home runs his last 4 games, Bryant. He's got some incredible numbers as far as number of games played, 24 hits, 20 walks. Been very patient for just a 23-year-old. There's a breaking ball.
Up.
It does. A couple of his balls have been up tonight.
A lot of the balls that have been called strike breaking balls have been up in the strike zone. But when you throw the ball 97, you get away with that more than not.
It's also on the black. I mean,
yeah.
Those are tough.
Fastball.
Good spoil there. All right, so Chris Bryant's first career home run came in game 21 for Bryant. It took him a little while to get there. And of course, as baseball players are prone to do, no matter who you are, when you hit your first home run, there's nobody there to greet you. Fair ball, tough play. Murphy